Today we're going to talk about the coins that you mentioned in the comment section in the last video. Which are your favorite? I am going to rate them today. I'm Ash and welcome to the Market Mobster channel. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the bell button so you don't miss anything. Let me know in the comment section, do you think I should have added more than 10 coins in this little video? I want to start off with some honorable mentions in this video in terms of the coins that I am not featuring fully, but they were asked. I asked on Twitter, I asked in the YouTube community, and I asked on my previous video on Monday. So the stuff that people do hold but I will not be fully featuring go as far as Solana, Cardano, Hedra Hashgraph, Metis, ICP, Kusama, Veracity, MTV, and XRP. There was well over 300 responses to my last video and obviously on other social media networks. So it was quite hard to pick 10. If you do like my content and you want to know what I fully think of coins in my live streams on other videos and be able to ask me obvious simple questions if you want to, check out my Patreon below. I have a Discord channel as well, which is all linked to that. So the plan is to let you know if I like these assets or not, or what I genuinely do think about some of them. I do hold some of them, obviously, because as a subscriber, you probably have liked some of my content. You now follow me due to that content from the past. However, I am going to be letting you know if I will take profit on most assets, and most importantly, what I'm going to do with them in the course of the next potential bull cycle that could be coming. So make sure you do stay to the end so you can see what I do think about some of the assets that are obvious, that are obviously my holdings. Hint, hint, I will probably tell you where I would be looking to jump out of it. So without delay, let's jump onto the screen. Let's have a little look at these. I'm only doing 10. If I did miss your asset, sorry. And yeah, some honest thoughts about what I think about some of these too. So before we fully get into going into which assets that have been selected, check out my company Learning Crypto. If you want some courses, you want 14-day free trial on premium, check it out. We can also accept crypto. So there's a lot of options there if you want to learn via myself and Gaz. First one we're going to go on to and quickly into it is Polkadot. For obvious reasons, Polkadot was always going to be one of the most obvious. Now, website's changed a little bit. It's a little bit more fresher. It looks quite nice. A lot of things going into Polkadot at the minute. A lot of new developers, a lot of commitments per day, which is good. Now, I said at the start of this video, I will probably tell you when I'm going to jump out, and I will probably jump out of every single asset that I own. This is one of them that I do own. If this goes to silly numbers, I will probably sell it. I'm not going to lie. If we go to certain numbers and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, this is getting pretty good, I will probably stop staking it on the chain. There's a 28-day lockup, right? However, it's a very popular coin. A lot of people do like it. Some people don't like it on my channel, which is fair enough. Some people love it. And then you've got people like me that I really do like it, and I really am bullish on the future of this ecosystem, right? Now, that being said, this is not financial advice. It's just what you guys are popular on at the minute on my channel. And it was kind of an obvious free hit realistically, right? Another one, an obvious one that has been very, very popular, I think probably one of the most popular, was actually Glimmer, Moonbeam, which is essentially the, like the Ethereum answer to obviously the ERC debacle, but on the Polkadot ecosystem, runs a lot faster, a lot cheaper. It is a really flawless bit of kit, especially when you change the chain on MetaMask and stuff. It's fantastic. Really like it. The website needs a little bit of a tweak, needs a little bit of updating, but to be fair, website to website, right? Let's be fair. Some people have really amazing websites and shit technology. This has really good technology and a crap website. I'd rather that be the case. No offense to anyone on the team, but yeah, the website just needs a little lick of paint. But again, same thing. If this goes to like $6, $7, $8, yeah, there's a chance that I will be selling quite a decent chunk, because it's life-changing gains essentially if you've been accumulating during this period of time. Certainly if you've been staking it, the staking's fantastic on this asset as well. Highly check it out. If you want to know how to stake, by the way, click here. Right? It will tell you how to do it. There's also a video on their YouTube channel in terms of how to stake it. It's really, really good. But again, a very popular asset. Another one that is also very popular, you've probably seen it in some of their little screenshots before, was Near. Near Protocol, in my opinion, is fantastic. We had some fantastic opportunities to buy this, and I think it's a great asset as well. I hold it, I stake it, I think it's fantastic. I've got some of the ecosystem's coin elements to it as well. So if you go onto the ecosystem, you can actually see how big the entire ecosystem actually is. If you go on Awesome Near, fantastic website, by the way. So yeah, again, same situation. I will stop staking it at a certain point. There's a less lockup period on this one. However, 11% return on just holding. If you're holding for a year and you're thinking this is pretty cool, network effects and stuff, yeah, it makes kind of obvious sense. So yeah, obvious popular one. But then let's go into the other ones now. The other ones that realistically I don't own, apart from one, which I will explain in a minute. But most of these are fantastic assets. Some of them are a bit not quite sure, but ultimately we'll go into them in more detail. So the one that has been around for a while is VeChain. VeChain is severely popular, right? And it always is, right? In my opinion, when the markets are up and there's a little bit of a narrative around Chinese coins as well, it does well. However, every single bull market this does well. I have held this before. Fantastic asset. I think it actually does lead on to probably one of the best enterprise blockchains out there because of what it does. It does a lot of genuine things. It's got a lot of great partners as well. You can see what's actually happening here. And you got to think of that relationship, right? Not everyone's an investor, but what they might be is a user of a blockchain technology, right? This is kind of in that caveat, right? Now, prices is one thing, offerings another thing, utility is another thing, consumer usage is another thing, adoption is another thing, institutional investment is another thing, partnerships is another thing, right? VeChain seems to have it all, which is kind of scary, right? So keep an eye on it, right? In my opinion, if this starts going up again, it'll probably be pretty decent in market cap. It was a real powerhouse in the last cycle. It did incredibly well. But yes, there is elements around its location that may well come to be a bit of a stumbling block in the future. Certainly if China get involved with certain things regarding, guess what? The little war that's going on. You know, you get the idea. There could be things that could stumble it. But for me, I think it's fantastic, right? We are in crypto. It should be decentralized. It shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't really prejudice on location. But sometimes that does happen in the media, right? So bear that in mind. But again, yeah, you can also stake this. Pretty cool. The other one and the most obvious one now, again, this one's an interesting one, right? It's very, very popular. And it has been very, very popular for the last few years. However, there's been a little bit of FUD recently. And if you know, you know, right? The FUD is very, very simple. That they believe, or certain people believe, that the chain has been spoofed basically with ghost transactions, right, to make it look more and more busy than it actually is. I'm not going to comment on that. I personally don't know. I've not looked into it. I don't want to spread any more rumors, but ultimately it has done fantastic, right? This was a well-needed advance in technology for the Ethereum chain that was required. It has been doing very well in the cross of the bear market. In my opinion, I think it's overvalued. I think there's not massive amounts of risk reward unless it really, really takes off. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen, right? You got to think of the obvious growth of all the other side chains and the layer 2s and stuff like that. Obviously, the whole roll-up element as well is hugely important. But you got to think it didn't really fall much in the bear market. It fell, it was one of the best performing. So interesting possibility there for the future. Yes, it could go beyond this all-time high with network effect, but sometimes if you're thinking about the obvious here, if you bought this low, sweet. If you're buying it tomorrow, it might be a lot harder to get multiples. However, there is other assets out there. I mentioned one of them on the honorable mentions, right? Similar to this, it may well deliver more returns. Another one that I really like is Oasis Network. I think the risk to reward on this one is fantastic. I know it was very, very popular when I was asking the question. And if we're thinking privacy, if we're thinking scalability, developers and stuff like that, this has kind of got it all. Multi-chain too, metaverse elements. It's got partnerships with Meta. It is a privacy-enabled blockchain as well with a lot of privacy elements to it, which is very, very different. As well as the elements of AI as well, which has been also touted and mentioned recently as well. So it's a fantastic asset. Again, huge risk to reward here. Hasn't really got going, in my opinion. When we look at the previous bear cycle, or into the bull market, into the bear cycle, sorry, there was a lot of good things going on, but it didn't really get motoring. It didn't really go bang. It was just kind of growing. So this is probably a one to keep an eye on. So again, if you're looking at taking a profit, this may go way beyond its all-time high because of A, it wasn't really fully functioning up until the point of when the market did turn around, and B, it's just improved. It's just got so much better. So that's always good. A one that I do hold and a one that I knew would be popular, and I'm going to feature on this video. A lot of people don't get this, and it blows my mind a little bit. In terms of doing research of how it actually physically works, I think it's by far the best story of cryptocurrency, if I'm going to put it that way. I think it will do well. I don't think the price is going to go ballistic like to the moon. I just don't think it's going to go like some people think it's going to go $1, $2. It's not. It's going to be some very, very hard momentum to do that because of the supply range, right? But when you start looking at this, and I just want to show you something because I think this is hugely important. Go onto the register app. and I'm sorry about my throat, it's dying. You can see here what's happening on this chain in a period of time. This is transactions of people utilizing the RSV token, which is the only one at the moment currently around the world, basically in 4 places around the world. They're looking to get into 25 countries soon. They're going to be adding more and more R tokens, which is going to be very, very interesting. But you can already see here, in the course of, time, the last 24 hours, it's a lot. You think about it, right? In 4 locations, you got to think this is the locations where people can't rub 2 pennies together because of, debasements of currencies and stuff like that. And people are finding the time and they're finding the information to go and use something that's on the world of blockchain and the cryptocurrency world, right? Huge, right? This is a mint perfect situation of why cryptocurrency is here. So yeah, I know a lot of people look at it and go, oh, it's a shit coin because look at the price. But reality is they're dealing with stable currencies. They're dealing with something that is hugely important and should be decentralized. It's huge, right? So yeah, the price isn't great in terms of like where it was to where it went, and it looked bad. But these guys have been developing and building all the way through the bear market, and also most importantly, right? It's still low, right? You don't know where this could go. It's worth a punt, and for me, yeah, if it goes to a certain price, there's always going to be a sell point for me to take profit. There always is. I mean, we're all here to make money. Why are we going to be bag holders, right? The evolution of an asset comes from its holders. If you buy low, sell high, rebuy back low, this will survive because it's got a revenue mechanism. It's awesome. And yeah, I like it. And I think a lot of people within my community do too. But there's a lot of people that are not within my community that hate it. And I think it baffles me. So I'm hoping if you fall into that group, you kind of understand a little bit why this is kind of cool. Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, moving on. Cosmos, the alternative element to maybe Polkadot you may add. A layer 0 essentially like Polkadot, a multi-chain, a internet of blockchains, very, very strong asset, has some big hitters on it. It already has Binance, for example. It had Luna. Obviously, Luna went a little bit sideways, but you get the idea. A fantastic asset. Again, falls into the line of kind of Matic and Polygon regarding, didn't really fall much. It kind of had quite a strong bear market, essentially, if we're looking at bearish price action. But for me, staking, fantastic staking. It's really, really easy to do as well. A fantastic team behind it, a fantastic use case. I think it's, if we're looking at the narrative of multi-chain, we may well find that the next adoption leap, in my opinion, could be that. The second to last is Quant. Quant was mentioned quite a lot on the YouTube community side of it. It was mentioned in quite a lot of videos as well when I'm going to do Quant again. I did talk about Quant. I did a very obvious video saying don't buy it at $270 or whatever, and it turned around. I was a little bit bearish regarding it might go below like $80 sort of thing. Didn't, held up very well. Did go below 100 for like a couple of days or maybe a couple of like a day or so. But for me to go and do that ballsy video saying don't buy this, I literally did say on a video, fantastic asset, but this is way overpriced. You want to kind of get the lowest possible price, and I think going down to $100 was fantastic. The only downside to this, what I find is there's a rubbish element to it, and it's a links to the central bank digital currencies. That to me is a rubbish link, and that scares me a little bit in terms of the negative press it might get if it is linked directly to that. It's like Hedgerow Hashgraph was linked to obviously the NHS trust with obviously COVID vaccinations, all that kind of element of tinfoil hats, COVID, all kinds of stuff. It's negative press certainly when wrong people get the idea of it. Now, again, we can't be in a situation where we've got to look at one situation and go, oh, that's a negative. But I'm just thinking stuff like this, for example, will have negative press, and I do not think, it will impact the price, but you don't want it to, right? That's kind of my thought here. But it's a fantastic asset. I think it's really good. It was actually on my list. I'm going to be doing a video very, very soon of my 27 coins that was on my list. I had a list of 27 coins that I wanted to buy. I've now got 9. So yeah, you get the idea of why I wanted to buy this, but it just didn't fall enough for me. Nowhere near as enough for me. But ultimately, fantastic asset. And again, every coin for me would have a price. If this does incredibly well of the hype or the rumorings of developments around where they're putting their financial token and what's going to be used by enterprises, utility, whatever, it may well do very, very well. And the final one is Gala Games. Now, this was pretty popular. I was quite surprised actually. Thought, metaverse, interesting. Now, obviously a lot of people came into the space due to metaverse. I'm not a fan, I'm going to explain my argument here. Now, I think if you're going to buy, in my opinion, anything around this, Gala's a good idea because it's an enterprise kind of ecosystem where it's obviously got games, it's got films, it's got music, and obviously the Galaverse, right? So you're not one point of failure. It's got some good partnerships, good relationships with some very, very big media kind of companies, obviously The Walking Dead, Snoop Dogg, etc., right? The problem I got with this is, why do we need it? And the idea is for the normies, right? So try and think without your crypto hat for a minute. If you're into gaming, would you find Gala games? Would you go on to Visit Games, for example, and play these sort of games? Now, when it loads, obviously, would you play these games for rewards? There's a high chance you're probably going, no, I probably wouldn't. And my idea is that, and this is the element, why can't we, and this is an open question, and feel free to answer if you want, and it's the same for the music, it's the same for other things too, why can't we have an existing model that works in line with companies? i.e., look at Fortnite, look at Call of Duty, look at all these big games that are actually free to play. Why can't we not have something within that which is a play to earn, which is digital currency coins, which can be converted into cash, right? That's my point. My point is, why do we need to build a coin that runs games on it when we can use existing platforms with fucking millions of people that play on it, right? Or listen to the stuff. Can you imagine, right? If you're an artist and you're on Spotify and you can get like, you know, a digital token which can be converted into cryptocurrency, either into pounds, euro, sterling for them, the artists to get royalty payments, or into obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, stable currencies, whatever it is. Same for games, right? If you're a developer of games, if you're a freaking player of games, if you're getting rewarded for esports, why can't that be a thing? My element is, and the rubbish part to all of this is, the normies won't see it that way. The normies will go, I've got to go and play on that game. I don't have to make a new account. The graphics aren't that great. It's not the best of games. It's not the greatest of licenses. And, you know, it's a long way to go. And that could happen. But for me, I think that's where the pool of people is. Can you imagine how many people would slightly get pulled into cryptocurrency for that? Huge. Anyways, I think I'm done. I hope you enjoyed today's video though. It's a bit random, it's a bit different. But yeah, if I didn't show you coin, I do apologise. But I will be doing a video, I think next Thursday actually. I will reveal all the coins that was on my list. It's in front of me, sitting there. I'll show it off. It'll be quite fun. Enjoy.